Hi, I'm Craig.
And I'm Chrissy.
Welcome to Shambhala Farm.
We're based on the Sunshine Coast of Australia.
Our mantra is Grow, Nourish, Connect.
And we look forward to bringing you videos from the farm and from the Yogashala.
Hi everyone, it's Aaron here. We're up visiting Craig from Shambhala. He's got one of the coolest farms I've seen in a long time. So I was just hoping to have a bit of a chat, if it's okay, Craig, about some of the stuff that you're pulling off here. So what crops are you predominantly planting here every week?
So we plant a range of the market garden crops, the salad greens, cos lettuce, oak lettuce, then we'll do kale. We're doing the brassicas at the moment, broccoli, we've got spring onions, beetroot, radish, silver beets and rainbow chard. They're kind of our main market garden crops.
Okay, cool. Wow, well, you're certainly doing heaps. Yeah. That's very cool. I see you're doing a lot of sort of almost agroecology style stuff through the market garden with all these bananas and turmerics and arrowroots and stuff. Do you want to explain a bit of that?
Yeah, for sure. So I got inspired by syntropics and agroecology, which is studying how nature grows and bringing that into how do we grow food. The one behind us is an example where we've got a base of bananas, then in the understory we've got turmeric, we've got arrowroot, we have cassava, and then in the next story down is when we have things like kale, silver beet, some of our market garden. Then there's a gap of market garden where it's all kind of low crops below knee height, and then another food forest, and we're starting to see the diversity of the life underneath in the market garden, where in the past when there wasn't food forest bordering that market garden, it was more devoid of the life under there. And now what we're seeing is that the more these food forests are getting established, we're seeing this community gathering underneath the whole market garden. There's a connection effect, and we're seeing so much life between the food forest, which is really inspiring and exciting. So we're bringing more of that into the farm now.
That's very cool. So I see you're doing lots of biomass, on-site biomass production. So what are your key ingredients to that biomass sort of production here on site?
We've got really, really high rainfall, so up to 2 meters a year. So we've kind of been watching what happens in some of the subtropical and the tropical areas around the world, Brazil, Bali, Indonesia, and what we're finding works really well in those areas. And here is plants like bananas. So bananas are a really fast growing biomass, and they also provide a delicious fruit. So as you can see behind us, we've got a lot of stems. Not all of these are going to be productive for bananas, but they're growing a lot of biomass. So then routinely we'll come down and we'll chop out the stems, we'll chop them up and we'll do the chop and drop method, where we'll just be laying that in the garden below it. And then the other main one is arrowroot and cassava. They're really, really fast growing. We get 3 to 4 chop and drops each year, and they just keep multiplying, and then the biomass is so amazing how much biomass we can grow in a 1 meter wide food forest bed.
Yeah, and also I think that those plants really allow good biomass production under the ground too. They're fantastic. So you're also integrating pigs into the system?
Yeah, we've got Peppa Pig over in the background. We may be able to hear her snorting and nibbling. So Peppa is an integral part. So she's got a long-term life on this farm. So she's going to be here for her full lifespan.
Cool.
She's a really happy pig, and pigs can live up to 20 years. Often they don't make it to their first birthday, so Peppa's almost at her first birthday, and she's really happy, really healthy. And her main job here is to do what she does best, which is eat and poop and dig with her really strong snout. So
cool.
She takes all the waste from the markets, all the waste from the garden. We put it into a pallet-based system. She eats that up, tramples the stuff she doesn't like in, and it all gets mixed into this amazing mush of biomass. Then that gets moved into a compost system, mixed with her manure, and creates the most amazing compost. So we're getting to see the cycle of life all happen in one place, which is really powerful for for anyone to see, but for the farmers as well to be inspired to see how the cycle actually moves around, and we can see the waste go back into the earth, back into compost, and back to create even more productive and delicious food.
Yeah, that is very cool. So I've seen you've got really, really cool extensive composting systems running all the way through, all the way from a sort of human manure production that goes into compost systems that again transitioned into tree systems.
Yes,
I think that's a really, really cool part of your whole system. So how long would you be composting that human manure down for before we're putting it into those tree systems?
So that would go from 6 months to 12 months, and the human manure systems don't make their way to the leafy green market garden.
Oh,
so that's something to be aware of.
Yeah.
And it is one of the most underutilized and probably one of the most prolific waste aspects that we as humans have on our planet. That there's some really simple ways that we can bridge that gap, close the system, and I think one of the best ways that we can contribute is to investigate human manure systems, to stop our water contamination, and to recycle that has been a really profound experience. And a lot of people that come to, whether they're coming to do a yoga class or whether they're coming to do some kind of retreat or garden experience, using the compost toilet system allows them to be part of that cycle.
The system,
so that will go into a pallet-based system, sit and be composted with sawdust, and that would sit there for 6 to 12 months, breaking down. And when we open that up, it is the most amazing compost that you've ever seen. That can then be used into tree systems.
Yep.
On the compost system, we've got lots of different styles of composting, and I think that's something I'm really passionate about, seeing how do you compost via an animal, how do we compost via chickens. So there's chickens on the farm. We don't have a cow. That's an input that we have to bring from outside, because cow manure is so important with the bacteria that's in all their stomachs. So to have diversity of compost, and that requires diversity of animals for diversity of manures, then we are bringing in a whole range of diverse micro life, bacteria, fungi, into our compost systems. And diversity means life, and that's where we have thriving compost.
They're very good compost. I'm very impressed with your compost. I saw also that you're sort of integrating other things to diversify the income on the farm. Do you want to explain some of those diversifications of income on the farm?
Yeah, for sure. The vision of Shambhala is about living a heart-centered life, coming back to our original nature. To me, as a sustainable farmer, it is about diversity. If I've got 20 different crops and 5 fail because of ducks or rain, I've got 15 others that are thriving when I investigate the soil. If I've got diverse soil, diverse bacteria and life in the soil, then I'm going to have much higher success. So in business, it was the same for me, that if we've got diverse income streams, then we can ride through anything, and we've ridden through the 2008 collapse. The COVID was an example that some aspects of the business fell down, others just took off and thrived. So we've got farmers markets, we've got food boxes, we've got people coming out to do farm tours and education, and then we've got the Yogashala where they can come and do a retreat and learn about health and wellness. And then they can also come and visit and stay in one of the cabins that are on site. And the latest one is where they can come and take part in the sanctuary and get a treatment or a massage. Bringing it to this whole circular part of the vision of Shambhala, where you can come and totally immerse in what is a really abundant, healthy way of living, and that's what we're passionate about. So it's an exciting journey to be on, and it feels like it's starting to come into its fruition.
Yeah, definitely. You've got a beautiful ecosystem here. It's a lovely spot to be.
I think
it's very, very relaxing. Yeah, very relaxing. So you're also doing a lot of flowers as well. Notice that you're stepping into flowers. So are you selling those flowers? What's the deal with that flower sort of situation? They're done on a more beneficial way, or is that going to be part of the production system as well?
Yeah, so the flowers came from my wife Chrissy. So Chrissy has brought so much diversity. She brought the yoga aspect, and then the flowers came early this year out of a desire to see more colour, see more beauty. And at first I was kind of against it because I was like, oh, it's not food, you can't eat them. And then we started and we realised, oh my God, of course, this is a no-brainer. Like flowers, it's so integrated to
it's a
the
great
system.
transition, yeah.
So they're bringing a whole different range of insects that are beneficial, bugs that are so good for the rest of the garden and the rest of the farm. The beauty of it, like we've got some dahlias in the background. Every time I see them, it lights me up, and it just astounds me how beautiful nature can be. And I think that's something that can be easily forgotten in growing food, especially from a farmer. It's like, oh, I want to provide. And it's easy to forget that actually nature is not only so abundant and giving, but it's so beautiful. And when we tap into that, it makes the whole experience so enjoyable. The ground is loving it as well, where the market garden cycle was really short. It was 12 weeks, maybe 16 weeks. The flower cycle can be bordering the perennial, where it's there all
almost biannual.
Year. That's right. So we're getting a lot less turnover of the ground, meaning less disturbance for the microbes underneath. So I'm finding having the flowers into the market garden system is just a symbiotic. I think that it should go hand in hand with every garden, wherever there's food, there should be flowers. Yeah.
Oh, that is very cool, very cool. Well, thanks very much, Craig. I've fully appreciated my time out here today. It's been amazing, and I love this farm. It's a fantastic farm. The diversification, the compost, the things you got going on here are really amazing. So thanks so much, Craig. I really appreciate it, mate. Yeah, very cool.
Thanks for joining us on this episode with Aaron and Craig at Shambhala Farm discussing sustainable diversity. This was a grow episode as part of the Shambhala Living series. We look forward to bringing you more videos and interviews soon. Thanks for tuning in.